I'm out here in Montana. It'll be the second week of November, and we haven't had any snow back home in Maine, so we found out there was some snow would come out to Montana, so decided to head here for a while. And this is the first morning out, and got a little snow yesterday that'd been about 5 or 6 inches, and looks like I got a couple more inches yesterday when we got in last night. And it stayed fairly warm in the night. It just crusted over it a little bit, but it's let go now. It's dripping out of the trees, and just a perfect day to be tracking. And I come back up in this towards a big mountain here, and I found a big track. It's the biggest one I've seen. It's old. It's made earlier in the night, but it's big. And for up here, the tracks aren't as big as back home. And then there's also, I drove a little bit beyond it, and there's looks like 4 decent bucks have come into this same kind of piece of woods here in this corner. So the other ones are a little fresher, but I'm gonna poke on this bigger one here, and see if I can get it freshened up a little bit. So I'll show you the track anyway. I gotta get going, make some time here. Well, I don't think I've gone, 75 yards down in here from the road. He'd been feeding a little bit, and he laid down right here. Kind of odd right here near the road, but he did it in the night. So he's a little fresher anyways. Well, I've been making circles here for a couple hours trying to straighten tracks out. There's a lot of does and several bucks in there chasing around. And finally, I figured the buck I was on, it started swinging south, and I had put Joe out on a track down that way. It was the same track. I figured it was when I headed that way, so I cut a big loop around. I finally found another pretty decent track, not quite as big as that one, but decent track made this morning, pretty crisp. And I finally got him sorted out from a bunch of the other deer, and he's kind of come down this old burn. They cut in this old burn here, and it's pretty open, but 11 o'clock I gotta stop and have a sandwich here, and I got a good place to watch while I eat a sandwich real quick, and I'll get back on him. Finished my sandwich there. I went down through that clear cut there. He wandered through there and he went down the bottom, down by the, must be a stream in there, but he come back on his track and come up into this older cut here. It's a little bit, kind of some pole jack pines in here. Laid down this little knoll where you could see, but he's got up and he's walking again. It's still not like real fresh, like I'm right behind him, but I think I can catch up sooner or later here. get in with another buck. They were traveling together, and then one was just a little bit smaller. That one just turned off, and this bigger one's come down across this little stream here, heading down in the bottom. A place for him to hole up, maybe. I could see on the other side of it, it goes up the big mountains. There's a clear cut on the side. I don't know if he's up that far or what it is. I'm not gonna push too hard on it. Could be right in here. Check it out. Well, I don't know if you could see that buck or not going up through the clear cut. I was coming up over a ridge here, and I was kind of pushing to try to gain on him because the track had freshened right up pretty good. And I heard snorting up above me, and I looked, it was a doe and a lamb up above me, and that buck was laying in a clump behind some spruces, and he got up and started across the ridge, but it was an 8-pointer. He wasn't have anything special for horns, just average size 8. So I had probably had some pretty good shots at him here, probably 150 yards, but let him go. Gotta be something bigger around here. Hey, gotta show you something we don't see back in the east. Grizzly bear track, big one. I've seen quite a few sets today. They're still out ramming around a little bit, but this thing's pretty big. I've been tracking this buck this morning, but ended up going through some narrow openings. I knew we didn't have much of a rack, but I was on my way back out, and I just cut a beautiful track made during the day here. He come out on the edge of this bog, and he rubbed a willow there, and then he's headed in this dark timber here, so I'm going to sneak along on it here. I don't think this thing's too far away. See what I can do. Nice big track, and it's wide. Well, I finally shot my Montana buck here. This is the 5th day into the hunt, and I missed one running yesterday, and I'm almost sure it was this one. And the funny thing is where I shot him today was right in the same place, right by the same tree. I was working my way down on his track. I tracked him all day yesterday, and anyways, I got that one shot at him. Quick running shot. And today I come back up on this ridge, and it was nothing early, and then it started to snow, and then afternoon I started seeing some fresh tracks made in the dust and the snow. I don't know, we got a quarter and half an inch, and I picked up the track, and when I picked it up it looked just like the same size as yesterday's. And he picked up a doe, and he was chasing a doe down the ridge, and then they slowed up, and I slowed down, and I kept bumping into deer. There's quite a bit of deer on this ridge, a lot of blowdown. They're feeding on the moss here. And so anyways, I crept it right down slow, and I got to a kind of a little dark spot, and I sat down on a log. When I sat over, I was going to take a little rest. I'm not running on 8 cylinders today, but anyways, I knew one sat down on that log, and I was sitting there watching, and he come out behind this big boulder working his way up, and I forgot my binoculars today, so I couldn't really tell how big he was, and I could see that he was obviously bigger than the others. I seen, oh geez, 4 other 8-pointers today, and I could see he was noticeably bigger, so I said, I guess I gotta try him. So I fired, and he jumped up like he was hit, and then he turned and he ran up the hill, and I fired twice more, and I followed it for 75, 80 yards, and there was no blood, and then all of a sudden it started dripping a little bit. And he got in kind of a trail, and the funny thing was right after I shot him, I see the doe after I shot, and there was a little 10-pointer just below him. And he wasn't scared about anything. We filmed him a little bit here, and then he started leaking a little bit, and he come up pretty steep here, and he got side hilling, and I could spot his rear end sticking out behind a tree, but I could see several other deer. I wasn't sure it was him. So I waited and waited, and finally stepped out behind the tree, and I could see it was him, and I couldn't get a shot, and then he disappeared. Figured out later he had laid down. When he got up there, he was leaking pretty bad, and he laid down, and I snuck around and got in an aisleway there, and he jumped up and took a couple of half-hearted jumps and stopped and fired and took another jump. I didn't have a good shot the first time. He was like right back too, and then he took a couple jumps and stopped again, and I got it in behind his shoulder there. So beautiful buck though, pretty wide, dark antlers, nice Montana buck, pretty heavy. I think I got Joe's buck by about 2 pounds. What do you think? Yeah. About 2 pounds on Joe's buck. But
Joe might not agree.
yeah, he might not. But. So anyways, good Lord shined down on me once again out here. Been noisy going. We've hunted on crust all except the first day, and been pretty crunchy, and the old 7600 carbine comes through again. So we got quite a ways to get out of here, but it's all downhill, so we'll get him taken care of. It's getting on 3:30. We got a couple hours to get him out of here. I'm going to hitch up Joe and have him drag. So we'll get him taken care of. Yep, beautiful buck. I'm happy. Couldn't be more happy. Heading back to Maine in the morning, I think, ain't we, Joe?
Yes, sir.
See if we can do some damage there, or the Adirondacks, wherever the snow flies.
There you go.
All right. Get him taken care of.
Get out of this part.
Oh, Joe set the bar pretty high the first day, and I was looking and looking, figuring I could get a bigger one, but I knew that wasn't happening. So
I had the good Lord shine pretty bright on me the first day there.
We had that quiet going the first day. You got
Yeah.
on the right track. Got him.
Came up here to do a little wolf and elk hunting afterwards, and getting near the last day, and I heard Hal shoot 3 times. Made my way over to him and picked up a little blood, like you said, about 80 yards up. He went quite a ways without any.
Yeah, hit him a little bit low.
And Hal spotted him up on the side hill, and he did vanish on us.
Yep. Laid down. He's behind these blowdowns. Isn't he?
Figured out he went down and making a little bit then, and
Yeah, he was. I don't think he was getting any further up the hill. He was,
no,
he was hurting about as much as me, I guess.
maybe a tad more.
Yeah.
Beautiful Montana buck.
Yep. Really good.
Hopefully Steve had some luck back
Yep.
at the range, and he's a gorgeous buck. Well, I guess we better get going on him. Nice job, partner.
Thanks. You too.
All right, here we go. Downhill most of the way, not all of it.
Yeah. I'm hitching up Joe like a mule.
I'll carry the pack.
Yeah.
All right, we got to get him out. Whew. I don't know, you haven't even passed yet, huh? Taking him to the truck.